Today, we're going to be talking about my first solitaire TCG experience with the Backrooms. And before we get into it, I like to say that I did purchase all of these things on my own. This is not a sponsored video. I just want to share my thoughts on the gameplay. Is it fun? And also, who is it for? Because this is not going to be a card game for everyone. So, first off, the game did come out this year, 2024. And it had a successful Kickstarter. So by successful, it really depends who you are if you consider successful. They got $13,386, which I think for a small card game, that's not bad. As long as they spent the money wisely, I think they can stretch that, keep the game going, build up hype. So to me, that is a success. So I picked up 3 things. We have a Dollface starter deck. We have the playmat in the back with all the zones that are very helpful. And then I also picked up this gem, which is called the Painite gem, and we'll get to that in a second. What do you actually need to play? Just the starter deck. Everything else is optional. So the playmat is optional, but it does have all the zones. It's a little larger than, a Magic the Gathering playmat or something like that. The gem is optional. You just need a coin to flip. It could be any coin as long as there's 2 different sides to it. So let's check out the prices before I move along. Looking at the actual Backrooms website here, if we go to the marketplace, it shows that the starter deck is $25. Not terrible. It's a little more than your average game, but again, this is a small publisher. They don't have that mass quantity and it's not in stores everywhere. So I think it's priced about right. The gem was $10, again, optional. You don't need it. And the playmats are $15. For a playmat, $15 isn't bad. I would suggest get the starter deck, get the Dollface one. They also have the Party Goer one, which is a Kickstarter exclusive. They still have some left over, but it is $10 more. So let's talk about the game. What is the Backrooms TCG? So it is slightly a horror genre TCG. It's horror in the sense of it's not slasher and blood and guts or anything like that, but it's based on liminal spaces. So those areas that make you kind of feel uncomfortable, they're like this yellowish kind of shade. Everything's kind of the same, but you'll find entities and items and you'll have to fight your way to escape. That is the theme. Now, I think as time goes on, they can partner with some of the horror movies. They can enter maybe some classic horror entities that you might know, which could be cool. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know if they're going to go that route. On the back, I'm just going to read what the Backrooms has to say about their TCG. So, Backrooms TCG. Venture into the lobby levels of the Backrooms and encounter the entities that lie within. Gather items, battle unfriendly entities, and meet friendly entities that will aid you in your quest to find a Painite gem to escape. Create a deck with your varied difficulty levels to test your single-player skills. Backrooms TCG is the solitaire trading game to collect. So, let's talk about how it's played, because that's the main thing. This is not going to be a full how to play the game. There's tons of tutorials for that from other people and Backrooms themselves. Also, I'm not going to play a full game. They have a bunch of content creators that are playing the games. You can check them out. I'll have links in the description if you want to see a full game played out. So, also, they did send some promotional packs. I think this comes with all the starter decks. So just like any card game, you have a deck. You are going to customize this deck, but the difference is with this deck, you're not playing against anybody. You're playing basically with and against yourself. So one key feature is the difficulty of the game is up to you. You can put a lot of tough entities in there. You could put a lot of easy hallways, a lot of dead ends, things like that, which may or may not appeal to certain players. Me personally, I like playing against somebody. And that helps me put value in the cards, and it tests my deck building ability, because nothing's stopping you from making a really easy deck and just winning the game every single time. There's nothing, or nothing's stopping you from making an impossible deck. So if you're the type of person that plays video games and never raises the difficulty ever, and you just want to do normal mode, this game may not be for you, because you're not going to want to put those tough cards in. So how do they remedy that? They have a kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. Challenges. There we go. They have challenges. That's a weird one not to remember. They have community challenges and challenges on their website. So it might say, hey, escape the room. But before you escape the room, you have to defeat 10 entities. Or it might say, hey, escape 3 times in a row. And it keeps changing. The community does keep tally of how many points you have. You get promo cards, things like that. So that's how it keeps it fresh, with obviously new sets, new challenges, things like that. It's very community driven in that sense. And if that appeals to you, then this might be the game for you. So as always, in every card game, we shuffle up random cards, and the playmat's great because I don't have these rules memorized. So it tells me that I start with 20 sanity. So we have our 20-sided dice, put it down. And we'll get into what sanity is after I place the board. So 8 cards on the top goes into the field of play, starting with the bottom. So we flip it over, place. And this is like your map and rooms and places to go and run into, items to pick up, entities that just pop up. We put our deck on the pull pile. This gets flipped upside down to let you know that you are not holding this gem yet. But this keeps your position of where you are on the map. So, don't mind this blind card right here that you can't see because of the glare. That's not important. So, it tells you to get 4 cards in your deck in hand, which you do not look at. That's an interesting thing about this. You do not look at these cards until you start placing them. And then it tells you to put your marker on in the first room, which is this bottom one right here. So, how do you win? Winning the game, you have to escape the room with the Painite gem. So, as you're moving around this area, you have to defeat an entity that has this gem on the card. So, you see this gem right here? If you defeat it in, I'm going to say combat, but it's basically use an item or do something else to get rid of him. If he's destroyed, then you would flip this coin, and then if it lands on the Painite gem, you have it for the rest of the game, unless another card takes it. In this case, I didn't get it, so he just gets destroyed, and I have to keep moving through the rooms to try to find the gem. This is one of my hangups, because I don't like the randomness. You could play a game, and again, it's 50-50. You could destroy 20 entities in a row, and you may never get the gem. Or you can get the gem the first time and escape the room really quick. That's something that I don't like. Maybe if there's more cards that interact with the gem, maybe it's like items that say do this and do that and do this and you get a gem. Maybe, because then it's your actions that got the gem. It's not just dumb luck. So that's one thing I do not like about the game, but other people do. So that's going to be up to you. So talking about the deck in hand. If you run out of cards in your deck in hand, you lose the game. That's one way to lose. If you run out of sanity, this goes to 0, you lose the game. If your pull pile runs out, I believe you just shuffle it back in. You just shuffle the discard pile back in, and the game keeps going. So those are the 2 ways to lose. So I'm going to do a sample turn to kind of show you how things move. So on the board, we have different things. We have rooms. These are how you move through the game, and you move your position. You have entities. There's an icon that shows you if it's an evil entity or if it's a good entity. Then you have items. And items you'll pick up as you go through the rooms and you add it to your inventory. You can only have 4 there at a time. So what do we do? How do we start? So the game starts. There is an entity on the board, but he's not engaged. I'm not fighting him yet. I didn't wander towards him yet. So he doesn't do anything right now. I just cannot move into an entity. So my first turn, for example, is items. Let's say I just want to pick up this item. So I take this liquid pain, which tells me that it does 2 damage. If I use it on an entity, it'll do 2 damage to it. There's also, flavor text and everything. Some text affects the games. Some things don't. There's some entities that say give this certain item to them and they'll go away. There's so many different little varieties we're not going to get into. So I picked that one up. And you have to move. You have to move through the rooms. You can't just stand still. So every turn you're moving somewhere. And movement is interesting, let's say. So to move, we are going to take a location, a room card. I forgot exactly what they're called. I think they're just room cards. So we take this hallway, and then we move it across from where it is. So directly across puts it here, and it covers whatever's on it. Then I move my movement token towards it, and then look at the card again. So the card tells me that I get 3 cards from my pull pile, and it goes into my deck in hand. So I'll do that first. So I get 3. 1, 2, 3. They go on the bottom. You do not get to look at them. Next thing, it says I get to place two cards from my deck in hand onto the field. There's a couple ways of doing this. So it says 2. I have to pick a direction it goes. So if I pick this one, it has to be 1 and 2. If I do it the other way, it's the same thing. But I cannot place it on top of an entity. So, for example, I cannot go this way. And let's say the Smiler was over here. If the Smiler was here, I could go this way, but I will only get to place 1 card, and then that's it. Maybe this is turning into a tutorial on how to play. But I swear it's going to be short. I just want to give you an idea of what's going on. So I take my 2 cards, and then I place it over, in this direction. Then once I move, the turn's basically over, and then I start again. So I need to figure out what to do. Now, there's a couple moves here. I could move down here. I could move up here. But I want to show some variety. So let's say you want to engage an entity. So you engage, let's say this guy. So the lost agent gets engaged. That means he's actively after me. He's chasing me. We're fighting. So it tells me 1 card from my deck in hand, which is right here, has to go into the discard. From there, it says, hey, you lose 3 sanity. So then I would take this, go down to 17. And then every turn that he is engaged, I will lose 3 sanity. And remember, if I go to 0, I lose. It also shows that he has 1 health. So he's engaged. I have options here. I could throw this liquid paint at him, which is 2. If I do, I place it here. They both go in the discard pile. But let's say I don't. Let's say I want to save it for some reason, and I'm not worried about my sanity. I can continue the game as far as maybe I want to move, I don't know. We'll do the dead end down here. And again, I move the gem to where I'm going. And then, since it was another turn, I will lose another 3 sanity because he's still there. But I can keep going. I can end up moving there. And I can keep moving around, doing all the things. every time he's there, he will reduce my sanity. So you don't want him to sit there that long. But how do we win? We already know we need the gem, and we need to escape. But where's the escape? Like, what do we do? So let's say we threw the liquid on the Smiler. It has a gem right there. So for the sake of this tutorial explanation, we flip the coin. Oops. We flip the coin. It is the Painite gem. So we have that. Now we're here. We know we have it. So as we go through the deck, eventually, let me find what we're looking for. We are looking for the escape card. So there we go. So as we're going through the game, eventually we're going to pick this in our deck in hand. And as we're moving around, we are going to place it. So let's say it's placed up there, which is just the golden stairs. So it's there. And let's just say we're hanging out over here for some reason. It doesn't really matter in this tutorial. That's where we are in the hallways. So to end the game, we just have to move. And again, move is grabbing the card you want to move to and then move it, across the field of play. So we're just going to go right there. And then we land on it with the gem. Game over. That is the standard way of playing. If you notice up here are two other slots that says next level decks. So there's new sets that are going to come out. You can create your own decks. So what you could do is you could create one deck that's a certain way, and then once you get through the stairs, you'll start on the next deck, and once you get through those stairs, then you go to the next deck, and basically you have to beat it 3 times in a row. But who's telling you to do these things? Nobody. You're telling yourself to do this. You're making it as hard as you want. So again, could be fun, could not be fun. That's really up to you. And that is the idea of the game. And go ahead and leave a comment down below what you think so far. Does it sound fun? Does it sound not fun? I want to talk about some more issues that I have with the game in general. So this is a collectible, it's a trading card game. So they have booster boxes. They're going to have promotional promo cards, things like that. You can customize your decks. You can trade with people. You can sell them online, all that stuff. But what is keeping the collectability up? That's my main question. And I haven't been able to figure that out internally. I've been on the forums or the Discord channel, and I've asked questions. Some people, they love collecting. They have a binder full of every single card. Some people like it. But for me, it's more of why am I going to buy booster boxes of these cards just to make my deck more difficult? And then it's like, well, I'm not playing with anybody, so I don't know how many of a card I really need. Standard games are, maybe 4 cards each or 3 that you have in there. So I'm just sitting there like, why would I keep buying booster boxes and booster boxes of this game? And I couldn't figure it out. But for me, I had to realize that I just like the competitive aspect of card games, like playing against people. I'm finding that maybe I want a solitaire TCG for something slightly different. I think I want it more as a living card game, one where I buy a set, I play it, and I'm like, oh, that's fun, as opposed to, like, right now, I beat this 100% of the time. I've never lost with this deck, besides my first time playing, because I had no idea what I was doing. But I've always won. And I went to the community, and I was like, what do I do? This isn't fun. I'm always winning. And they were like, well, they said open the promo packs and start replacing some of the good cards with bad cards. And then I'm like, oh, so adjust the difficulty, make it harder on myself. And that's just not what I like. I like games that come with a level of difficulty or an unknown level of difficulty. I think if they keep coming out with these, not starter decks, this is more in line of an actual theme starter decks, but if they come with a more challenging one, I could see myself picking those up. Other thing is value. So some people like cards to collect not because they want the cards, but for the value of it. Like they want to hold on to cases, or they want to go grade them and then sell them and flip them. And, I'm going to hoard all these in my basement and one day they're going to be worth a lot. I don't see that happening in this game. I don't think it's designed to be that way. So it might put you off if you're not okay with spending, let's say, $100 on a booster box and just to open them and enjoy them yourselves. Maybe trade them with some friends or give them away to other people. That's fine. But just know this game's more about playing than it is about investing in things. And I think that's great. That's gameplay first. So if all that sounds good to you, I suggest going to the website, joining the Discord. Again, all that stuff's going to be in the description. And then hang out, buy a starter, $25, and just test it out. Again, you don't need the playmat. I suggest it just because, it's going to have all the rules and a legend right here that tells you what all the symbols mean. But before I end the video, I am going to open these. I have these promo packs. I don't know if these promo packs are the same for everyone. I don't know if they're random. I just know they're really hard to open. Come on. We'll get back to that one. The pull tab is like the packs are kind of thick for a normal plastic booster. Okay, what do we have here? These are all new to me. We have the Poisoned Hall, Faceling, another Smiler, a Hallway, and a Scarlet Knight. That's pretty cool. And as you can see, the difficulty really gets tough. Look in the upper right. You have 7 sanity you're losing, and it has 7 life, 2 deck in hand. It does have a gem though, so that's a plus. Does it do anything else? Near the point of blah, blah, blah. No. It is just a big, beefy entity. It looks like... It's weird because I'm like, oh, that's a nice pull. It's going to be great. But I'm like, will I ever want to put that in there? That sounds like pain and suffering, just like opening this pack is. What is going on? Other side. Okay, this looks better. Well, the cards are sealed really well. So we'll put that there. We have a Lost Agent, a Dead End, Liquid Pain, Dollface, and the Conductor. Another one that is such a high cost, -8 and 10 life. Wow. I don't know how you're gonna get out of that one. One thing I did not mention is how do you get your sanity back? And it's kind of like when you run away from things. As you're running through, your sanity goes up. So, for example, if you walk through this hallway, you gain that 3 sanity. There are some rooms to make it harder. I don't know if I have one. But the corner gives you 1. But some of these will actually lower your sanity. Dead end. That is one that does. So if you end up at a dead end, makes sense. You're running away from something, you hit a dead end, and you're going to lose your sanity. So that is the back rooms. Do I suggest it? Yes, I suggest this game. I think it's fun, but I think it's fun for the type of person that likes to challenge themselves. Because no one else, I take that back, someone will challenge you. And if you join the Discord, someone's going to be like, hey, I challenge you to try to do it this way or that way. If you're okay with that, then this is the game for you. If you're looking for a card game that you can just play by yourself, not have to interact with anyone, and also not deal with the whole killing somebody. This is not a game that's like, I'm going to go destroy you. So if that's something for you and you just want to move around, you like the theme, this like, I'm going to call it light horror. That light that if you really put yourself into this situation, let's say you get sucked into this area, because that's really what's happening. You are ending up in, let's say, a hallway with these yellow walls and nothing in it. So I got some random wallpaper, again, yellow. And as you're walking through these things, it already has that eerie feeling of it's empty. This doesn't feel right. I need to keep moving. There's no rooms. Like, there's no, like, real rooms. Like, you're not walking into a bedroom. I mean, yet. But I think that goes away from the liminal space idea. You're supposed to be just walking into places that you shouldn't be. Just like the next set is going to be about... let me find out what it is. The next set is going to be the car parking level. So, interesting. It's going to be most likely empty, just like all the other rooms. And it's a place where you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be walking around a parking garage. Have you done that before? Like really late at night, maybe you got done clubbing and you walk to your car and no one else is there. And you're just walking through empty parking garages. It's kind of eerie. It's kind of creepy. So they definitely play on that. You see some of the cards here that will be there. Straightaways, you got a memory worm. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for the right person. But the real question is, are you the right person for this game? Only you can decide. I think it's good. Go ahead and pick it up. Join the Discord. And I will catch everyone next time.